Kia ora, Kaha Ra whānau. I've got this video for you to all watch very shortly, and it goes through the whole process of the body work of the Kaha Ra Mirimiri, and will show you all the different steps. So a great tool to remind you in the future of when you are doing this mahi that you have got me right there to support you on your journey. So first of all, before we actually start to do the work, we do our consultation, and I'm just going to go through some of the steps that we do initially, and then it can be either a verbal consultation, but initially I'd really like you to do the written consultation. It's also a great protection for you in the future as well, so that it protects you and it protects your client as well. So it's an agreement that you make between yourself and the person that you're working on. And this can be kept in a safe place. So somewhere where you can lock away and it's not privy to just anybody having access to it. So that's an important part of the privacy of what we do and the work that we do. So after you have done your consultation, your client then climbs onto the table, and we are going to start with a prone position. So we start face down and making sure that your client's comfortable, that she's draped properly, that she is warm enough, that the room is actually warm and not too cold. You can cool down very quickly when you're not actually moving, so it's a good idea to just ensure that there's that element taken care of. Make sure that your client is supported enough, so making sure that she's got something under her ankles. If she has lower back problems, then you might want to put something under her belly to support her under her belly. If she's hapu, you would probably want her on her side. So there's all those aspects to take into consideration. And if someone's quite heavy breasted, you probably want to place something, a couple of small cushions around either side of her breast to give that support. So there's a few things there that we can help with in terms of making sure that your client is comfortable throughout her entire process, or his entire process. The next thing we do is we are going to spray, so we're going to neutralize the space, and we spray with the waitapu, the waitai, and that basically makes sure that it's a neutral space for us to work with, so that we're neutralized and our tūroro client is neutralized as well. And then the next thing is that we are having already heated the kohatu. They're removed from the pot at this stage and placed in your platter or whatever you're going to be using, and surrounded with the towel to keep them nice and hot. And then we're going to place them on our clients, so making sure that there's enough buffering there for them to not get too hot, because there's nothing worse than actually burning somebody. It can be quite painful, and you need to keep that open dialogue as well to make sure that your client is comfortable throughout the entire process and not getting really hot or burning them at all. So once those are placed there, you probably want to put a folded towel down, or a pillowcase down, fold it up 3 times so that you've got a little bit of a layer of protection, placing those there. And then once that is done, we step away from the table. At this stage, there's a grid alignment under the table. There's some crystals there. You've got it all sort of set up for them to enjoy tuning into the ley lines of the earth, etc., etc. So now we are going to center ourselves and go into our core, and we're going to call up the energy of Papatuanuku. So bringing that energy up from deep within Mother Earth bringing it up through all the different layers and up through the base of our feet and up into our ankles, shins, knees, legs, up into our hips and into our heart space. And then we're going to bring the energy down from Rangi Nui and Whiturangi and Sky Father, bringing it down and centering it around our heart space and getting those two energies to merge so that we are completely in alignment with divine feminine and divine masculine energy. So once we're centered, we then put on our korowai of protection. Now remembering your korowai, some have chosen to have this beautiful white korowai with feathers, some it's very glossy and very blingy, and some are rainbow-like, or some are just quite plain or black, or whatever color you choose. This is your own personal korowai, and it's up to you to design it exactly the way that you want to. So this is a really special part of doing this mahi, that you choose the right korowai for you. So once you've placed your korowai on, then you're going to create the beautiful sphere of protection around yourself, and this encapsulates your energy field so that you stay safe throughout this entire process. So energy can permeate from you. Remember that you are the channel. You're invoking this with what you're stepping into. And once you've actually got your shield of protection around you, then you can safely connect in with that person. So you're going to be honouring and welcoming the tipuna of your client and your own, actually. So this room ends up being really full of energy, of beings of light and support team that are going to be there to tautoko you and tautoko the person on the table. So it ends up being quite an amazing space. Then you're going to call in our kaitiaki, Tama, from the Lemurian aspect. So we're going to bring him through, or him, her. Tama doesn't actually have a sex. Tama is androgynous. So we're going to call Tama through and have their presence there with us to tautoko what we're doing right here. And then we're going to link in to the ley lines and grid lines of the earth, the energy field of the earth, and we're going to pull it up through the crystals and the grid beneath the table and up into the meridian chakra system of the body, and then we're going to take it all the way up to the cosmos to create this beautiful torus field. And it's a really good idea to use our hands to motion this, because it actually brings it into action. And once we've created that field, this is the 0 point field we're creating. It's a place where transformation takes place much more easily, with ease and grace. And then we're going to do our opening karakia. So closing our eyes. Me te mārie e te atua. Tātou katoa e te aki. Mana anō e whakau. O tātou ngā kau ki te pai. Me te atua tamaitera me te wairoa. Atua ko tahi nei. Tātou katoa e whakapai. Ake, ake, ake. Amen. So now we are ready to journey with Kaha Ra. And as you will see, we have a beautiful wahine who I'm going to be demonstrating this work with you on, and her name is Elaine, and she is not doing any big catharsism, but this work has got very much layering that happens. So we had previously done a lot of releasing, a lot of cathartic releasing with Elaine, and this is just the smoothing that needed to take place. So happy journeying, people, and yeah, we'll see you on the other side. Ka kite anō. Kia ora koutou, and welcome to the Kaha Ra video. We're going to do a demonstration on beautiful Elaine here, who's lying on the table, and we have taken our waitai and our waitapu and our water waitaha. So we are ready to go, and now we've placed the kohatu on, the alignment on the lower back, on the back and on the feet, and now we're ready to do our karakia and tune in. So first of all, I just wanted to ground myself, bringing in the energies of Papatua Nuku up through into my being, into my heart, and the energy of Ao down and into my heart. Now we're going to put on our korowai of protection and our sphere surrounding us. Now I'm going to link the ley lines of the earth to the ley lines and energy field of the body and up, linking it into the cosmos, creating a beautiful torus field of energy that will run through. Now calling on our kaitiaki tama to be present here and to assist. My tupuna and Elaine's tupuna. Just feeling them coming through. And now we're going to do our opening karakia. E te mari e te atua, tātou katoa e te aki, mana anō e whakau, o tātou ngā kau ki te pai, me te atua tamai te rā, me te wairoa, atua ko tahi nei, tātou katoa e whakapai. Ake, 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 ti hei mauri ora. Now we're just going to do a little spray to neutralise the space. Getting ready to go and touch the body. So now we're going to do the body rock. Just a lovely gentle rock, backwards and forwards to recalibrate the waters within. So it's a push me, pull you type feeling. A little bit more gentle around the feet, and then down and out. Just going to take off my ring, because that could hinder my mirimiri process. Now we're just going to go into the points, doing the trigger points around the buttocks. The very first trigger point, remember, we're creating the circle, and then we're doing the cross, and it's in the very center. And we're going from this angle, and because I'm coming from this side, I'm going to be coming in from that angle, and we're going on a diagonal angle here. So nice deep breath in, and letting go. Just starting off a little bit more gently, and again, and going a little bit deeper each time. And again, anō, felt something trigger just then. Nice one. Kia ora. Now we're going to go in and it's measuring out. We're going to measure out over here, and it's right in the very centre. So hooking beneath the sits bone. So nice deep breath in. And this is really just one point that we want to be able to access. Yeah, can feel that. Nice. You can do one time, might be able to do two or three times, but it's not that necessarily a big point to put pressure on, because unless it's really tight, you don't want to be overworking it. So the next point is 2 inches down. We're going to go right in the very centre, and it's a downward movement. Nice deep breath in, and kia ora. Ooh, felt that. And if there's a lot of energy there, if there's a lot of stuck energy, you can just give this a little bit of a shake. But shake it from the foot rather than from here, because that's just going to take it off the point. And yep, that feels good. Feels released. And then the next point is another couple of inches down, right in the centre. Nice deep breath in and release. And the next 2 points are just really shaking up the space, getting it prepared for the massage component. And then we're going to pull the energy out, scoop it out and release it out to the ethers. Now the next point is, same again, we're going to measure it out, circle, and then cross, and it's right in the centre there. So again, using our same side, we're going to get our elbow in there, and we're going to go diagonally this way. So nice deep breath and releasing. And again, and releasing some more. Just going a little bit deeper each time, and again. And letting it go. And actually what would be really nice now is if we put some music on. I'll just quickly go and put some music on. And as you'll notice, there's also a beautiful crystal alignment beneath the table. Going to go into our second point on the legs. So measuring it out, and then right in the centre, hooking it up into the sits bone. That's it. Awesome, Elaine. She'd already started doing her breathing work. Nice and rhythmic. 2 inches down. We're doing the next point straight down. Deep breath in and releasing. Kia ora. And another 2 inches down for the next point. Deep breath in. And letting it go. Feel the tightness when people have got blockages. Actually, I'm just going to turn that music down a little bit. So you can all hear me. And again, just shaking it out through here. An Achilles pinch, going all the way back into the back of the heel, and scooping the energy out and releasing it out to the ethers. Now we're going to expose the leg. Remember, we're keeping discretion at all times. So we're going to pull the lava back, and we're just going to tuck this into the underwear and expose the very top of the leg. So you don't want to get oil all over their underwear. So getting our oil, which is our beautiful wahi tapu oil. I've just got it in a container here. Now we've got a couple of kohatu that are beautifully heated and they're ready to use. So just prepping the space, and now just coming into, we're just going to start our moves. You're going to get oil everywhere. Try not to take your hands off throughout the movements once you've actually made contact with the skin. Remember, it's beautiful wave-like motions. We're just preparing the leg. All the way up and all the way down. And now we're just going to warm it with the kohatu. Beautiful Lemurian 8. All around the foot. And then up the leg. To the calf. And up into the hamstring. Just getting that nicely prepared for the very first stage. So we're going to just add a bit more oil, and now we're going to lift the leg up. We're going to sit on the edge of the table and just prepare the foot, going around the ankles. Do you want to come around here and capture the ankle moves? Yeah, going around the ankles. And now going in between the metatarsals. Up and down. Up and down the metatarsals. See the metatarsals here? Up and down the metatarsals. So up and down. And then around the top of the toes. Now we're going to go and do the calf roll. So we're going to just bring the energy up the leg, using our forearms, not too firmly around here, it can be quite uncomfortable. Then coming into prayer, and then back down again, down the centre, and then up again into prayer, and then down the centre. Now we're going to step off the table and come into the 10 villages point, which is right here. 10 villages point. It's in between this nodule here. So that's it right there. And that is an energy point that will allow you to walk another 10 villages before you tire. So nice firm movements all the way up and around the ankle and back down again. And Now we're going to stretch the foot backwards and forwards. And round and around. Gently lift. Now we're going to push this back. So we actually got our hand against the toes. And we're going to push it right into the buttocks. So nice deep breath in. It's a really good stretch. And then we're going to lift the leg as we bring it out, and then give it a good stretch as we place it down, just before we place it down. Now again, we're going to use our kohatu in doing the Lemurian 8. And coming up, just giving this leg a lovely warming treatment with our kohatu all the way up. And this helps to relax all the muscles and get it all prepared for the next stage. So now we're going to do our Kaha Ra shuffle. So backwards and forwards. Now if someone's had a lot of trauma, family trauma, generational abuse, it can actually be really tight through here. This is the father energy, the ancestral lineage of the male. So now after the Kaha Ra shuffle, we're now going to come and split the calf, coming up all the way and start lightening up about here, because you don't want to go, there's too many nerve endings at the very back of the calf there, the back of the knee. And up again. Do this around 3 times. Now there are some trigger points in the calf, so if somebody's got a lot of tension in here, then you want to be able to work on those trigger points and release them around here and around there. And down here's another trigger point. And yeah, they can all be released using specific movements. For example, there's a trigger point here, I can feel that, so I would either use my kohatu, so nice deep breath in, Helene, and placing a bit of pressure on, starting off lighter and then going a little bit deeper, and again, and releasing. And around 3 times is good. You don't want to go working on too deeply on a trigger point. You've really only got about a 30-second period of time before it's too much, and then you can actually just not be able to go any further. So it'll come to a point where you can't work on it any deeper, because the body system won't allow you. Okay, coming into the hamstring. She's got a bruise right here, which wasn't me this time. Okay, so just preparing the space. Nice firm strokes, hand after hand, and up into the very top of the thigh. Now we're going to come into, yeah, there's 2 really good trigger points here. That one's one which we've already worked on, but this was actually, I picked it up when we first did the initial trigger point, that this was a bit blocked, so I'm going to work on that more specifically. So nice deep breath in and letting it go. And you can now do a little bit of tefe, introducing the tefe. there's definitely been movement in there. Okay. And now we're going to go and do our iliotibial track, which is all the way up the thigh, and it goes all the way up to the greater trochanter. Remember, don't go too firmly around the greater trochanter area. It can be very uncomfortable. So we're just going to do our knuckles, and we're going to start here, and we're just going to do nice circular movements. Remember, we've got our elbow hard, fast up against our hip, so it's keeping our leverage point, and it's also putting the pressure on that rather than using our physical strength in any way, so, and tiring ourselves out. So yeah, going all the way up, just nice gentle movements around here, and then coming back down again. Once you've finished doing that, we're going to be doing some diagonal work. It's like a ringing movement. You can use your forearms. And it's just helping to release any more muscle tension that's in that space. Coming down the leg and out, scooping the energy out. So that's ready to be put back in the basket. Just covering up the leg. Coming into the next leg, exposing it the same way. Draping's very important. So again, making sure you've got enough oil to do the entire leg. You might have to get some more oil on your hands, especially if someone's got very dry skin, and especially in the winter. People are a lot drier. Now just warming it up with a Kaha Ra. Beautiful. Lemurian 8, bringing in that symbol of eternity. Kia ora. And again, warming the entire leg, and this is so gorgeous when you're really quite cool, when it's in the middle of winter. Or if you've got really aching muscles, it's just lovely. And now, making sure you've got enough oil, maybe having another little dip, getting the oil on the shin side of your leg, and again, preparing the ankles, one ankle at a time. Now this is a space where women are actually, it's linking to the hormone balance, it's linked to the ovaries. By this action, we'll be balancing the hormones. Someone's a bit out of balance. And in here's a lovely point too. You really get into that V point. It helps release if someone's got a lot of ankle pain, or if they've got real imbalances, hormonal imbalances. That can be really beautiful. Now coming up into the metatarsals, up and down and around, down around the foot, and again up and down and around, up, down and around, up, down and around. Not too firmly around there, because that can actually be quite intense. And they're quite fragile bones, so yeah, you don't want to go too hard in those spaces. Now, placing the foot up against your chest. Hopefully it's not covered in too much oil. And now coming down and doing the calf roll. So yeah, a nice alternate move. And then coming into prayer. Working with love and intention throughout. Remember, this is like a ritual. It's a real honouring of this person's body, mind and spirit. Then coming down, placing the leg slightly to the side and then accessing the 10 villages point. Again, it's in between these two spaces here, so it's right in there, and you can feel that, you know, it's a real point, it's an actual point, you know, and you probably need to inquire with the person that you're working with if you're on the right spot, because they do vary from person to person, bringing that energy all the way around and down. Now stretching the foot backwards and forwards, round and round. Giving it a light lift and deep breath in. Remember, we've got our fingers against the toes and letting it out. Nice. And then lift, and then a nice tug. Sometimes this can actually pop the joint back into place. Now back to our Kaha Ra, more Mirimiri movements. Just warming it up one more time. And now the Kaha Ra shuffle. Do it around 3 times up and down the leg. It's a bit of a workout too. And now we're going to split the calf. And again. Now we've already done the consultation. We did it prior to doing the tuning in and everything, so it was mentioned that Helene has actually got some stuff going on her left hand side, which is the feminine side. And yes, there's a definite difference in energy. So yeah, warming the hamstring up. Yeah, this one I'm feeling slightly further up. The energy block is slightly further up, so we're going to do a bit of energy point here, a bit of tefe. Deep breath in and letting it go. So you're always working with the breath when it comes to releasing. So you're starting off a little lighter, and you're going down deeper and deeper, but always working with the breath. So getting them to breathe and then putting pressure on as they release their breath. So now I'm just going to be doing the iliotibial track, going up the leg into the iliotibial track, all the way up into the greater trochanter. Remember, we're releasing a bit of pressure as we go up, and we're coming around and back down the iliotibial track. Nice. Cool. Okay, now we're going to do the ringing all the way down the leg. So we're going to be pulling the energy. This helps to release more energy out of the muscle and releasing it out of the body. And then down and out. Now covering the leg. Now we're going to go, just going to place our Kaha 2 at the base of the table. And we're now going to just loosen up the lava and expose the upper buttocks. So getting a little bit of oil. Now this is the time to keep the upper body warm, so you don't want to actually allow that to get cold. So you actually want to pop a little blankie on, keep your client nice and warm, because it can get pretty cold pretty quickly. Even though you're warm, they might be cold. So you're just popping the oil on. Now we're going to do the Lemurianate again. Then we've got the 3 points in the buttocks that we're going to work on. So once that's ready, we're actually going to come from the very side, and there's one, oh yeah, I can feel that in here. Just in here, it's actually between the greater trochanter and the hip bone, so it's in between the two. And it's kind of got a little groove of its own. So we're actually going to access that point, and we're going to put pressure on it, and we're going to go inwards. So we're not going upwards or diagonally, we're actually going inwards this way. So nice deep breath in and releasing. Yeah, there's someone who's had a lot of emotional wounding. This can actually be a real trigger point. Kia ora, letting it go. And again. And releasing some more. Whoa, whoa, wow. Beautiful. Nice point. And then the other point, the next point is here. Now we're going to go diagonally with this point here. And it's just in the crest here. So it's about an inch down. And this is actually connected to the sacral. And if someone's had a lot of back pain, it's usually related to financial worries. And it's connected to here, to this point here. Deep breath in. So we're going to go up diagonally. Letting go. And again. And then the last point is down here. This is all about being supported. And if someone, you know, that's the piriformis muscle that we're focusing on, and there's a really good spot right here that you can feel in here, and it sometimes can be quite, so we're looking at a triangle of points. Okay, there are other points like the one we were working on earlier, which is actually the sciatic nerve point, was the very first point we used. So now we're going into the piriformis, and we're going to use, that's it, and this is actually, it's down, but it's also going towards the tailbone, and if someone's had injury in here, it can sometimes be quite sensitive, and you can realign their tailbone if it's out of alignment. Nice deep breath in. Awesome. You can do this with clothes on as well, but it's not as easy to see. And releasing some more. And again. And letting it go. Nice one. And again. Beautiful. So, yep, just going to now come in, and we're just going to do a little bit of work around here. So we're working on the lower back now, coming into the sacral and the quadratus lumborum space. So if someone's twisted their back, they can often have this muscle here is problematic. Yeah, especially if they've been doing a lot of shoveling, gardening and all of that stuff. So this can be a real tight spot. And you might want to also use some mahana. I'll just go grab some mahana. This could be really good for when people have got sore backs. Mahana works a treat because it's actually got a lot of anti-inflammatory properties. And I know that when we did our consultation, Elaine talked about having a sore back from doing a lot of gardening lately, a lot of weeding and bending. And hand over hand gives you a lot more pressure. Then we're going to come around the buttocks and up again. And then we're going to come from this angle. We're just going to come up and down and in through the buttocks again, and then up and around. Now we're going to go to the other side, so we're not taking our hands off at all, we're just going to be doing nice strokes. And we're going to come and do exactly the same on this side, so using our Kaha 2, we're doing the Lemurian 8. Prepping the space, and then we're going to come into the points. Nice deep breath in. And again. And releasing. And again. Come into the next point here. Remember, we're going diagonally. Just feel that you've got the right spot, because yeah, I'm feeling it right there. Is that right? Yeah. So we're going to go diagonally this way. Yeah, working with the breath. And again. breath in. And letting it go. And again. This can always be about people's groundedness. If they're not very well grounded, it can cause problems in the space too. So again, we're going to work on the piriformis. Got another point right here which feels pretty blocked. So yeah, a nice deep breath in. Remember, we're sort of going down and slightly inwards as well. Deep breath in again. Awesome. I'm feeling that release. And again. Make sure you're keeping your posture throughout. You don't want to go injuring yourself while you're working on people. And again, you're going to come up and go down into the sacrum and around, up into the quadratus lumborum. Just going to do a little bit of work in here because it actually feels quite blocked in here. Oh, yeah, there's a spot in there. Yeah. Oh, a little bit of jumping going on. Yeah, it's lessening. Nice work. Yep, good release. And then we're going to come from this angle and go up the spine. And through these groups of muscles here and then up again and around. Remember, we're going to the side of the spine, we're not going on the spine. And this muscle here, this feels, yeah, this is the muscles on either side of the spine that go all the way up. And you've got one very close to the spine. You've got one in the center, which is the biggest muscle, and then you've got one to the side. So you've got group of three muscles. I'm just accessing the one on the side here. The one in the center is here. And then the one in the right next to the spine. You just be very careful with this. Actually, I'm just releasing it a little bit now. Now we're just going to make our tūroro, our client, a little bit more comfortable, and we're going to remove that blanket, and we're now going to be doing the middle and upper back. So yeah, warming up the space. And coming in from the side, going to go in between the ribs, not too deeply, hand after hand. And bringing it around, hand after hand. Now we're going to go into a longer stretch of the spine, coming all the way up using our forearm, and it's quite a firm move, and we're going all the way around and then bringing that hand down, and again all the way up. And we can actually also use this other hand on the side So we're coming in on both sides and we're covering this entire area. Remember, we're doing complete moves. None of these wishy-washy moves that you miss half the part that you're meant to be working on. We're doing complete areas. And lifting it up slightly and coming back down again. Now we're going to go to the other side. So as we move over, we're actually going to be doing the crossover. We're going to be doing exactly the same here. So going up in between the ribs, hand after hand. Remember, you want short nails. You don't want to go hurting your client. And then again, we're coming into this position where we're going to go the flat hand on the side here, and we're going to come from our palm into our forearm, go all the way up, putting a bit of pressure on at the same time, coming all the way around, giving it a light lift at the edge of the shoulder, coming back down. Now we're going to come up. It's going to warm the body up. Remember, you can do the Kaha at any stage throughout. Just going to place them back over here. Popping a little bit more oil on because we're going to go into the shoulders. So we're going to come over to the side, and then we're going to come around and we're going to pull the shoulder blade down. Just warming up the space. Doing that a few times. 3 times is good. And then we're going to come to the very edge of the spine. We're going to go all the way to the edge of the trapezium, to the edge of the shoulder blade. Oh yeah, there's quite a bit of tension in here. Whoa. Yeah. You can see that. Coming all the way to the edge of the shoulder blade. And so basically it's from the edge of the spine to the edge of the shoulder blade. So coming all the way along here, thumb after thumb, thumb after thumb, thumb after thumb, and again, all the way along. This is the rhomboids through here, and then coming back around. Now you can work more specifically. I'm feeling like there's quite a bit of trapped energy in here, so I'm going to actually do a little bit of trigger point work. So deep breath in and releasing. Kia ora. And again. Remember, starting off a little bit lighter. That's it, nice. And going a little bit deeper. And again. Kia ora. Beautiful. Yeah, that's made quite a difference. So there's a few trigger points down there. There's one there, and there's one there. So that one there's a good one too to get. There's also one around here, which is quite blocked, I'm feeling. So you can access this one. You have to actually be on the ground to get this one. Yeah, and access it this way. Deep breath in. That's it, letting it go. Away. And again. Kia ora. That actually released the shoulder quite a bit, just in that short move. So yeah, it was quite blocked in there. So that's made quite a difference. And last point, I'm just going to get this point here. Nice deep breath in and letting it go. Kia ora. Nice one. And the last move for here is we're going to go down the edge of the spine all the way down to the heart. Whoa. Yeah, there's quite a bit of tension through here as well. And bringing it around. Doing that about 3 times, you know, just releasing the energy. Where you feel that there's blockages, you can work on those more specifically, like I'm feeling something in here. So, you know, using tefe, using trigger point. You're not working on the spine, you're working not too close to the spine. That's it. Letting it go. And if you're not getting release on that point, you might need to move slightly up. Kia ora. Or slightly down. You might not be quite on the right spot. Kia ora. And again, breathe in. Something triggered just then. Beautiful. And going. And then the same again on the other side. Side, from the edge of the spine all the way along the very top edge of the shoulder blade, which is your trapezium, along there, and then you're going to the edge of the shoulders, the edge of the shoulder blade. Thumb after thumb. Remember, it's quite a specific move. All the way to the very end, and then warming it up. You can either do this before or after. It's nice to do it around 3 times just to warm that space up. Now you're going to sort of go into it a little bit more specifically, especially if you've got trigger points and you know where you feel blockages. Whoa, This spot's pretty blocked in here. Whoa. Yeah. Something going on here. Right there. And I can feel a lot of triggering going on as well. And as you can see the muscles dropping, the shoulders dropping. Okay, so we're going to do a trigger point right here. And that's accessed right here. It's the serrator scapula. Nice deep breath in. It's a different muscle than what the problem was on the other side. That's it, kia ora. Letting it go. And again. Kia ora. And letting it go one more time. Actually just moved down to another trigger point. This was just below it. And again. Yeah, that's it, letting it go. Kia ora. Just moving down those 3 trigger points. And letting it go some more. Kanake he te hei 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 ato. Beautiful. Right, now we're just going to go down the edge of the spine all the way down into the heart chakra, just down below the heart chakra. So, yeah, there's a lot of armoring going on here. I can feel there's quite a blocked space in there. Bringing it around. Just in there. Nice deep breath in. Just going to move up onto the next trigger point. Nice work. Right. Beautiful. Now we're just going to make our client a little bit more comfortable. Draping's very important. It's a very important piece. So we're just going to pull the sheets up. Doesn't matter if they're covered in oil. And now we're going to expose the arm. Okay, now we're going to just prep the arm. Alternate moves and holding it at the same time. So I'm holding it and I'm having a hand free, and I'm holding it, having a hand free, etc. all the way down to the forearm. Get into the palm. We're going to split the palm. We're going to individually milk the fingers. just focus a little bit on the thumb, also milking the fingers, and then placing our fist and twisting and pulling the energy out. And now we're going to actually bring the arm and we're going to rock it around to the front, stretching it out, and we're going to grab the other hand and we're going to take it all the way down to the hip, around the edge of the hip. We're taking it all the way down the edge of the hip and then back around again and out. Nice long stroke all the way around, and alternate move. Remember, I was just showing you, but you don't have to uncover if you don't want to. And then you can work more specifically on the bicep and the front of the forearm. Now you want to do in between the metacarpals and circular movements around the fingers and down. And down. Now you place your hand in theirs and your hands over theirs, and now you're sending some loving intention into this healing, connecting into their heart energy, into the energy field. Kia ora. Thank you. And now we're just going to do the same again, bringing it all the way down and covering them. Same again on the other side, exactly the same. So I'm just going to quickly demonstrate this. We're just going to come into the neck. Now we're going to go to the side, feel the energy of the side of the spine. So we're going to start on this side. There's a little groove there. Oh, it goes all the way up. And sometimes if there's muscles that are a little bit blocked, you can really feel them in there. So I can feel that in there. It's a muscle that's a bit blocked. So we're just going to go up the spine, all the way into the occipital ridge over here, and actually you can warm this up. Using the Kaha Ra shuffle, and then getting back into that space. That's it. There's a good point right here. Whoa. That's it. That's it. Letting it go. Hoe, hoe, hey, hey, hey. Ngā moho te hoke ahu, te mahue, ahue, mahue. Ka kokatana. Ka kokatana he. Kia ora. Feeling that being released slowly but surely. Beautiful. That's it. Oh yeah, there's definitely an energy movement going on there. That's it. It's all about speaking your truth and honouring yourself. Kia ora. I just felt there was a little shimmer. Nice. And then same on this side. So we're actually going to the side of the spine. We're not actually going on the spine. We're going to the side of the spine and up the neck. Oh, now this is, yeah, I'm feeling there's a blockage in another part. Just here. That's it. And deep breath in. Kia ora. There was a little trigger going on there. Using your breath. And then coming all the way up into the occipital ridge. And then placing pressure. Kia ora. Something triggered in there too. Yeah. Nice. And then we're going to actually give this a really nice tug. And then we're going to finish with some beautiful, strong strokes all around the head. Lovely long strokes. And just gently grabbing the hair and giving it a light tug. Energy out. Pulling blankets up and making your client lovely and warm. Now at this stage, this took around about an hour, so if someone was wanting just to have an hour treatment, then you would probably end at this point. But to do a full kahara, you need to actually turn your client over and do the other side. So yes, we're going to actually turn over and do the other side. Kia ora. So we have now turned our client over, and so I've lifted the sheets up in order for her to have some privacy, and she was then able to roll over. And then I have placed a pillow underneath, and her cloth that she had around the headpiece, I've placed that over the top. And now I'm just going to put a pillowcase or a cloth, or you might have something else that you would like to put around her eyes, just to allow her to go inwards still. So she's still in process, and she is just going deeply into her body. And now I've placed the largest kohatu on her heart chakra. So we're working with heart energy now. So the next part of this process is to work with the leg. And we are just going to get, again, getting enough oil to make sure we can actually cover the entire leg. Make sure your client's warming up, and you might want to just, tuck the leg, the undies in, so that you're not getting oil all over their clothing, all over their body, and parts that it doesn't belong. So now we're just sort of giving a few effleurage moves to warm the leg up. Your body's feeling warm, but I can feel like goosebumps. Are you warm enough?
I'm between two states.
Okay, so we're actually going to put another blanket on our client because she's not entirely warm right now. So it's quite important that they stay lovely and warm. So yeah, again, we're warming the leg up. And now we're going to go into the arch of the foot. So we're going to pull with our hand over here and just really work into that arch and go around the base of the foot, working into that point in here, all the way down. There's a lot of little muscles in here, a lot of acupressure points, all the main organs of the body. And then we're going to come around the ankle again, turn the foot around and around the other ankle, and then we're going to do the Kaha Ra movement again, going all the way up, around the knee, hand after hand around the knee, circular movements, not putting too much pressure on. Now we're actually going to come and lift the leg here, and we're going to give our client a little bit of privacy and draping. We need to drape properly, so we're using the sheet and we're actually going to tuck that right underneath. And you can go a step further and make it really private, so they've got complete discretion. And now we're going to sit on the edge of the bed, just securing our client's foot, popping a little bit more oil on. Then we're going to go down the thigh, to the inner and outer thigh, and up around into the knee, and again, and around the back of the knee, coming around the knee. And we can use some forearm movement around, and then at this point we can pick up any areas that might need a little bit more deeper work. If you've got a lot of stress points in here, you might want to do some trigger point work. Yeah, feeling a little bit in here, and you can use kohatu. You might want to place the leg down so you can access that better. So we're now going to do circular movements around the knee. Nice circular movements, quite strong circular movements. Bringing the energy down and out. Now we're actually going to raise the leg. We're now going to place the palm of our hand against the palm of the foot, and we're going to support the knee and going to get out, ensuring that we've got privacy here. We're now going to get our client to take a nice deep breath in and let it go. That's it. And now we're going to just shake it out. Give the leg a lovely tug. And bringing that energy down the leg and out. Remember, if someone's got knee problems, you might want to put a little bit of mahana here. The other thing is making sure that you've got your legs in the right place. So we've got the cushion underneath here. You could use a rolled towel or a couple of cushions as well. If they've got lower back problems, then you might want to raise their legs, so you might want to have another cushion underneath to support. So that helps with people who've got lower back pain. So now we're just going to lift the leg again and re-drape, covering the leg, covering your client and keeping their comfort at all times. And now we're going to expose the other leg. And again, tucking in if you need to tuck in, getting the sheet, placing it underneath so you've got really good discretion and protection. Getting enough oil on the hands. And then going all the way up the leg. Warming the leg up. And again, we're going to go into this arch, pulling the toes up the top here and going into the arch, where all the main organs are, through the acupressure points of the meridian system. Then we're going to go around the ankles, both ankles, a little bit on the top of the foot as well, coming around. Then the Kaha Ra shuffle, so backwards and forwards. And now we're going to lift the leg. Just keeping it nice and warm here. Lifting the leg and exposing it enough to access. I'm just going to warm the thigh up all the way down to the center and around the sides. You can use your forearms as well. Now we're just going to do little circular movements around the knee, feeling into any of the spaces around here that may feel stuck. And bringing this energy down and out. Now we're going to raise the leg, palm to sole, and bringing discretion in at all times. Deep breath in and stretching as far as we can. And giving it a nice stretch, and then undraping and placing, bringing the energy out and then placing blanket back on, making sure that your client stays lovely and warm. Now we're going to come up to the top end of the body. Placing my oil down here. We're going to uncover the shoulders and the clavicle area. Just going to get a little bit more oil on my hands. The other thing I just wanted to bring your attention to is the tissues, always having tissues on hand. So making sure that they're quite near the table. If your client has got a cathartic release, then they're always there on hand. So yeah, just exposing that, and then just taking that all the way around, down the arms and up, around the back of the neck and out. Now, nice circular movements through here. And again, down and out and up. Just warming up that space and getting ready to do a little bit more work along the clavicle space. So now just going along the clavicle point. Just putting a little bit of light pressure all the way along the ridge. Feeling the lung meridian. And letting go. And again, deep breath in. And letting go. And again. Sometimes this can be really blocked in here, the lung meridian, especially if someone's got breathing difficulties. I've been doing a lot of work on a computer, bending forward, not enough stretching. It's a really good point. Can actually just give a little bit of a like a jackhammer type movement, and using the breath, always using the breath as a guide. That can help release the energy in there. Now I'm feeling this side a bit more strongly, so I'm going to work a little bit in here and working with this point. if someone's quite muscular, you can actually use this point in here to really release that spot. We're just going to use slightly more gentle movement here and releasing. Yeah, this is stimulating the lungs. How does that feel in there?
It's hard, but I feel that it's releasing step by step.
And again, deep breath in. You can actually do thumb over thumb to give it a bit more pressure. Thumb over thumb. Okay. Awesome. And again, on the side, just using the breath. This doesn't feel as blocked as the other side. That's it, using the breath. Awesome. Back of the neck. Now we're just going to turn Elaine's head to the side. Just going to flick that back, keeping her in process. Now we're just going to go along the ridge of the shoulder, the trapezium, and up the back of the neck, the sternocleidomastoid. We're just going to tug on the occipital ridge and make pressure on the point, the junction point between the trapezium and the sternocleidomastoid. Just in here, it's a really good trigger point. Kia ora. Oh, yeah. Awesome. Letting go. Yeah, I can feel that releasing. And again, if it's really stuck, you can do it several times. Remembering to only be on that point for around no more than 30 seconds, which is actually a long time. Pulling that energy up. Already done a little bit of work on her neck. Remembering that this here area in here is actually not to be touched. It's got a lot of really vital points, nerve endings, and it has the main jugular vein as well, so we're not going to go into that space. But over here we have a few little tight little muscles. All the way up into the occipital ridge. It's a really good point in here. So yeah, right under here, the base of the skull. And now we're going to go in and just give a really good massage in this point in here. And go all along the side of the head. Nice firm strokes. Coming up into the top of the head. exposing this area around the head, around the hairline, to the top of the head. And now, that's awesome. Now we're going to go and turn the head to the very center again. So we're always going from center to side rather than twisting it all the way around the other side. So center to side. And now we're just going to turn the head one more time. And going around the side of the neck. Actually, we don't need to do that just yet. All the way down the edge of the trapezium up to the back of the head. Just a couple of nice warming strokes. Now we're going to pull the ridge and get into that point between the sternocleidomastoid and the trapezium. So nice deep breath in. Beautiful. And again. And lastly. And letting it go. Kia ora. Nice one. Righty ho, now we're going to come up to along the neckline and then up into the occipital ridge, feeling any little muscles that might be a little bit tight. Oh, something just triggered. It's a really good point. You can get in there. Giving a little bit more pressure in here. And now flipping this, and now we're going to come into the side of the head. Exposing the hairline. Nice circular movements. And then coming back into center. Doing the top of the head. Here as you can, over here to the end, giving it some lovely gentle strokes, and then a nice tug. And do a couple of movements along the forehead. Circular motions around the temple, a little bit of pressure, then coming off the head. Now if someone's Māori, you might want to ask them if it's okay to touch their head, because Māori culturally are very sensitive around that part of their body. It's a very spiritual part of our body. So we need to be mindful of that and respectful of that. So now I've just got the waitapu, and I am going to place a couple of droplets on my finger. To link in the heart chakra with the ajna, the third eye. We're going to call those parts of you that have been fragmented, parts of you that left you, that left home when they experienced trauma, pain, suffering, abandonment, rejection, or anything that made you unsafe, made you feel unsafe. Calling those parts of you back home to where they belong. Haere mai, haere mai, haere mai. Haere mai. Calling those parts back home. Kia ora. Fragments to come back in through your ethereal layers into your astral body and into your body, to your physical body. Finishing with the reconnection, reconnecting you back to the Divine Mother, the Circle, the Divine Father, the Rod, and the Divine Child, which crosses you. Anchoring in this new energy. Just slowly, gently removing your hand, going through, scooping her auric field, smoothing the auric field. debris. Re-energizing her field. Upward movements, energize. Downward movements, calm. Energizing. Now we're just going to do a closing karakia. Kia tau, kia tātou tātou, mea te whai o tō tātou, arakia I hukaraiti, te aroha o te atou, e te wewhenga tahitanga, te wairua tahi, ake, 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 amen. Keeping our attention the entire time, all throughout our process. Now, the last step is just to neutralise the space with our waitai, neutralise us. And this is used throughout the process as well. So we would use it every time someone has a cathartic release or any kind of movement in their body. You clear the space. So kia ora koutou, thank you for being part of this journey. It's absolutely stunningly amazing. And like I mentioned before, this is a ritual. This is an honouring of the human aspects through all our layering. So, thank you very much. Enjoy. Ka kite ana.